Today I'm here with Jason at Bus
Brewing.
Yes. Okay, awesome. We're going to go through the steps of brewing. So I'll let you lead.
Come on back. So since we've opened, we've probably brewed over 50 different styles of beer. We've got 12 taps downstairs, so there's no more than 12 varieties on at a time.
Okay.
But part of why we wanted to do a small brewery is to be able to have the flexibility to do a lot of different styles. We don't distribute our beer. If you want Green Bus Brewing beer, you've got to come here and drink it on site in the tap room. So because we don't have a large production schedule, or we don't have outside customers that are expecting a certain product by a certain time, that gives us a little more flexibility to make what we want.
Sure.
When I originally started thinking about this, I thought, I'll never make the same beer twice. We'll make all these different styles all the time. But then you start making a beer that people like, and they want to come back and have it again and again.
Right,
So we've got to where we usually have 5 or 6 beers on tap that we try to keep on all the time with varying degrees of success. And then that gives us 6 more to play around with.
So I was talking to Micah downstairs, and I tried the dark Czech.
Yes, the dark Czech lager.
Yes. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And he gave like the perfect description of it. He said it was like a cross between German Dunkel, which I've had quite a few in the last 5 years, and a Czech Pils.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I said, you know what? And I tasted it, and I'm like, that's exactly what it tastes like. Yeah, so cool. Okay, so tell me what
we're
goes
set
on
up for
in
brewing
here.
tomorrow, and this tank here is the hot liquor tank. It is designed for making hot water.
Oh wow, that's hot.
All it does. It's
Chris, can you get the
got
steam in there?
electric elements in the bottom. I don't know if you can see them down there.
Oh yeah.
But that's the hot water heater elements actually provide the heat. We're an electric brewery. We don't use gas or anything like that. Once that water is up to temp in the morning, we'll use the pump here and transfer it over to the mash tun.
Okay.
In the mash tun, we've got the grain for the recipe. It's already been through the mill. It's been crushed. So we'll pump the hot water in here, mix it all up, and let it sit for an hour. And that hot water will work with the enzymes in the grain into sugar. And so it looks like a big vat of oatmeal, basically, that consistency. After it's sat for an hour, the hour is the time it takes for the heat and the water and the enzymes to convert that starch into sugar.
It's just an hour.
Just an hour, yeah. Some styles you mash a little bit longer, but general rule of thumb is an hour.
Okay, but that's what it's called, when the water comes in and
You're mashing.
you're mashing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Once the mash is done, we'll transfer it over to the boil kettle. Now the boil kettle's just got cleaning water in it right now. It's just so, but it'll transfer into the boil kettle. We'll heat it to boiling. It'll boil for an hour. We'll add hops at different times depending on the style of beer and the recipe we're following. After it's boiled for an hour, we run it through a heat exchanger. The beer goes one way, water goes the other way, and it cools everything down. We're on different paths in there, so
Okay.
not mixing it together. It goes through the heat exchanger to take the beer from boiling down to about 68 degrees, and then goes into one of the fermentation vessels. We'll be using this one tomorrow. Fill it up with beer, add the yeast, and let the yeast do their thing, and they'll convert all that sugar into carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol.
Okay. So did you go to study and learn how to do
No,
all
not a
this?
bit. I started off as a home brewer and hooked up with the Rocket City Brewers here in Huntsville.
Sure.
And that was really where I started learning more about different beer styles. For a long time, beer was just yellow and fizzy, and that's about all I knew about it. But I started going to a local homebrew club with people who'd been making beer for a long time, got exposed to more styles, and it kind of just opened up the world of beer, so to speak. I think I've been brewing for 7 or 8 years now, probably closer to 8. And we've been open here for almost 3.5 years.
Okay.
Several years as a home brewer, and then I met my business partner, Kerry. He was in the homebrew club too, so that's how we got introduced to each other, and we gradually talked ourselves into doing something a little bit more than homebrewing.
Okay.
We knew we didn't want to run a big fancy production brewery like straight to ale. That's quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
But we knew we wanted to do something a little bit more than homebrewing.
Great. This space reminds me so much of the pubs in England and the UK.
Yeah.
And
we get that a lot.
it's true. Having been there a lot, people get their favorites, especially if it's like within walking distance of their home. You know, my bartender, and he knows my life. And I was talking to Micah too. When Green Street Market is open, you must be like just packed.
We love it when they're open. So yeah, that's always a busier time of year for us, especially on Thursday nights. So with the purple cups and everything, folks can come and grab a purple cup and peruse the market. I think it helps us both out.
Well, when did that start? The purple cups.
I think it has been 6 or 7 years now.
Okay.
It's been a good while. It was initially just Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
And within the past year, they've expanded it to 7 days a week.
All right.
So everything was going smoothly. Nobody really had any problems, so we went ahead and opened it up to every day of the week. Yep.
Yeah. Talking travel with Wendy. I have Jason, owner of Green Bus Brewing, and we are going to be talking about beer and this pub that reminds me so much of the pubs in the UK, but you have the Alabama style, so I love that. So Jason, tell me, how did you start?
I started as a home brewer. Actually, it was kind of a roundabout way. My wife and kids had gone and picked a bunch of blackberries, and so we had this ton of blackberries in the freezer, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll make some blackberry wine. So I started researching that and everything, and then I kind of remembered that I don't really like wine. So I thought, well, there's really no point in making blackberry wine, only to find out that it's still wine and I still don't like it. But I had a buddy, Joe, who had been brewing for several years, probably had been brewing for 15 years off and on when I got started.
Okay.
So I was like, Joe, next time you're in town, why don't you come over and teach me how to brew beer? He's like, sure, be glad to. Here's a list of things you need to buy. So next time Joe was in town, he came over and walked me through. We started very basic on the kitchen stove, doing what was called a partial extract brew.
Okay.
It's a little less involved than what we do here, but it was enough to get me started and everything. And I liked it. It was fun. Beer came out pretty good. So I kept doing it and kept doing it. Started going to the local homebrew club, Rocket City Brewers, and started learning more about different beer styles, and kind of queued up my my curiosity on all the different types of styles I could make. Then I gradually started buying more equipment. I was like, well, if I had a bigger pot, I could do this. And so when I got the bigger pot, it was too big to fit in the sink to cool. So now I need a fancy chiller to put in the pot. And next thing you know, I'd worked my way up to a set of equipment to do what's called all grain brewing, where you start just with the raw grain and build the recipe from scratch and everything.
Now, where did you get your supplies?
There are a couple of there were at least at the time a couple places in town that you could buy malted grain ready to be brewed with, or
for homebrew.
For homebrew,
yeah. Okay.
It was actually when I started homebrewing was illegal in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Alabama was one of the last
You're such
two
a rebel.
states. Yeah. Alabama was one of the last two states to legalize homebrewing.
Oh.
It was illegal, but generally nobody would give you a hard time.
Well, if you're just consuming it, if you're just consuming it for yourself or your friends,
the big problem would be if anybody ever tried to sell the homebrew, which is pretty much illegal still. It's not something you're allowed to make to sell. If you want to start selling beer, you have to open a brewery
and get a license.
Yep,
and all
exactly.
That.
So I got involved with RCB, Rocket City Brewers, with the legalization effort as well.
With the hops,
Free the Hops was more on changing commercial beer laws.
Oh, okay.
Upgrading the amount of alcohol that you could have in a beer, changing the laws about the bottle sizes.
So there seems to be, like, in the last 10 years, there seems to be just a total education on beer culture.
There has, yeah, there really
has
has, and that's a large part thanks to Frida Hops and their efforts to change some of the beer laws. Once the alcohol percentage was raised, is when Straight to Ale filed paperwork to go ahead and open and start their brewery. That kind of opened up the door to more styles that can be made. You know, you don't make certain beer styles just because, for example, you don't take a classic American style Pilsner with the goal of making it twice as much alcohol as the one you can buy at the store, because that's not appropriate for the style. But there are styles where a higher alcohol percentage is appropriate and goes with the style of beer. So, like I said, once they raised the alcohol percentage level, that opened up the door to more beer styles being made, and it became a lot more attractive for folks to open breweries. So,
So you were talking about your styles, and you kind of change it up, but you have some that are favorites.
Our Hot Bus IPA is our best seller.
Okay.
We make that more often than any other beer. And then usually the ones we try to always have on tap are Hot Bus and Big Spring IPA. Dominant Red is the Irish Red.
I've heard about that one.
Camper Van Blonde is another one we try to have on more often than not. And then usually our Tiramisu Milk Stout.
Okay.
I'd say those 5 are...
Micah was telling me about that. That sounds like a dessert, though. Chocolate and coffee.
Chocolate and coffee. It's got lactose in
Oh,
beer.
wow.
So,
Yeah.
it's definitely got its fans, though.
I got to come back and have one.
So those are probably the 5 that we really try to keep on all the time. But we've done a purple beer that had butterfly pea flowers in it.
Really?
To get the color. That was fun. It tasted good, but it was more trouble than it was worth. So we probably won't be doing that one again.
Okay.
I had a local home brewer who brought me a recipe for an oatmeal raisin cookie beer that he wanted. That one was excellent as well. We probably got to do that one again, even though putting a bunch of raisins in the fermenter was fine until it was time to get them out.
To clean them.
Usually you open the bottom of the fermenter and flush everything out. Well, the raisins were stuck, so they couldn't come out, and I basically had to fill the fermenter up with water so the raisins would float, and then scoop it out of the top until I got enough out for it to flush out. But so I said at the time, that's too much trouble. We won't make that beer again. But a lot of people liked it, so we might need to bring that one back.
That would be probably like popular in the fall.
Yeah.
When people are looking for a cozy oatmeal cookie.
Some other unique beers we've done. We've done a MULBERRY Imperial Cream Ale.
That's interesting.
We actually should have that one on here sometime this week. It's kind of back in rotation. Another popular one that we do is a Earl Grey Mild.
Okay, that's the one I have.
Okay, there
Earl
you go.
Grey, yum. Gotta say.
It's an English brown ale with Earl Grey tea in it.
I love it.
So,
I'm a tea drinker too.
Well, there you go. Check both boxes with that
I
one.
know, it's yummy.
So yeah, like I said earlier, we're small. We can do some one-off stuff without, messing anything else up production-wise and everything. So we are.
And your location is perfect. You're right here
Yes.
in Old Town. You're within walking distance of Green Street Farmers Market when that's open, and the parking is super easy. And
we're really happy being a part of downtown Huntsville. I couldn't really imagine doing this style of brewery, small brewery with a tap room, anywhere else in town really. We're very dependent on folks coming downtown and walking around on foot and stopping in for a beer. Whether it's getting one in a purple cup to go or just having a seat for a little while and hanging out with us.
Sure.
So you can definitely tell when there's something going on downtown by looking at our sales. You can see when events are happening or not happening. So yeah.
Now, do you partner with some of the events that happen on the square?
To some degree, we sponsored some of the cups that they were using for the Mardi Gras parade.
Oh, okay.
So we had our name on those. We're always open to opportunities, but for the most part, we're here and take advantage of and bask in the benefit of being part of downtown Huntsville.
Yeah. Do you have like a snacks menu, appetizer menu?
We do
or
a few small things downstairs. We
Yeah.
don't have a full kitchen, so
Okay.
we're kind of limited on what we can do. But we do a pretty good chicken quesadilla. That's as advanced as it gets, but we almost always have boiled peanuts and
Okay.
chips and beer
So
cheese.
yeah,
and
snacks
that's
that
about
go
it.
great with beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay. You had a Valentine's Day party?
We had an anti-Valentine's Day party.
Anti-Valentine's
For all those
Day
folks who
party.
either don't have someone to celebrate with but still want to go out, or are adamant about not supporting the commercialization of Valentine's Day.
Okay. I love it.
So if you fit
It's
into
the
either of those
downtown
categories,
Huntsville rebel spirit. I
there
love
you
it.
go. If either of those categories apply to you, this was a good place to hang out on Valentine's Day.
That's fun. That's fun. No red anywhere, right?
Lots of black. That's what our black double IPA was made for. That it's called
Okay.
Delusion Ale.
Black what?
Double IPA.
Double IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, drunk and bitter like your ex.
Oh my God,
that was
that's
the
awesome.
tagline.
That's hysterical. Really hysterical. Okay, do you have events coming up? Any?
Our next big event will be the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Okay.
We usually do pancakes in the morning. We'll have some green pancakes going.
Oh, cool.
And then we'll switch over to a traditional Irish meal, corned beef and cabbage and potatoes and carrots and all that good stuff.
Oh, awesome.
So we pull out all the stops for St. Patrick's Day. It's,
And the parade goes right by here, doesn't it? Yeah.
just right outside our door there, just about. So yeah, it's a huge day for everybody in the beer world. So it's usually our busiest day of the year. So
Excellent.
we'll be open early and open all day.
Perfect. So, Jason, how can people find you?
We're in downtown Huntsville on the south side of the square, half a block away from Commerce Kitchen.
Okay.
206 Eustis is the official address. We're between Commerce Kitchen and Nativity Episcopal Church.
And on the web?
Facebook is when we keep up with the most. So just look for Green Bus Brewing on Facebook and you'll find us. Give us a like. And
Okay.
that's usually the best way to keep in touch with what we're doing and find out what's going on.
And your hours, you're open?
We open on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're open from 3 to 9. Thursday from 3 to 10. Friday, 3 to 11. Saturday, we open at noon. Saturday and Sunday, we open at noon, closing at 11 on Saturday and 9 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me
Thanks for
today
coming and talking to us.
and talking me through how to
You're ready to brew. You know how to do it all now.
I know. And just knowing that little home brewing can go a long way.
It can. A lot of the breweries in Huntsville started with home brewing.
That's
so.
super cool. Well, I'm looking forward to coming back and trying like all the flavors, including the oatmeal raisin.
I'll let you know when it's back on.
Thanks for joining Talking Travel with Wendy, Jason, and Green Bus Brewing. Hope to see you soon.